Good morning, I'm Chef Gillian with Cultured Concepts, or should I say, Annyeonghaseyo. You guys, I have a special treat for you for this Veterans Day episode. So today I'm going to be debuting some delicious things that are all Korean, and I have a special guest with me here today in the kitchen. I cannot wait for you guys to meet and fall in love with my dear friend and fellow veteran, Chef Anniyah. Chef Anniyah.
Hi, you guys. My name is Chef Anniyah Robinson. I'm an Army veteran and I go to Johnson & Wales University.
Woo woo. Yes, and that is where we met, right? And so when we both discovered that we were not only veterans, but our love for Korean food, we knew, right? We knew that this had to happen.
Then and there, we had to make
We had to do this. We had to show up with some bulgogi, right? We had to show up with the sticky rice. Come on, run that menu down.
We have sticky rice, bulgogi, Korean fried chicken.
Sure.
You guys are gonna die for this Korean fried chicken. We also have cucumber salad, and also we have a special surprise. We have soju.
Yeah, well, we can't bust them up with the soju yet. Y'all don't get so excited. That's for a little bit later. You guys, I did not know that there were people out here in this world that loved fried chicken more than we do in the South until I got myself over to Korea. They do some delicious things with some fried chicken, and we're gonna do those things today, right? And we're really excited to show you some kimchi today. So we're gonna be walking you through that process and showing you how to begin the fermenting process. You guys, it's all going to come together for a beautiful lunch. I can't wait for you to enjoy that with us. So stay tuned and see you in just a spell. Okay, so Chef, talk us through the sticky rice and tell us what makes this rice here sticky.
So for the sticky rice, most people rinse their rice off. What Korean people do is soak their rice first so all that rice starch can come together and make it sticky. And we use a rice cooker because it's very much easier and very convenient for everybody. And when we used to do, they used to make a big pot and everybody would just come together and eat off the sticky rice with soy sauce. So today I've been soaking this rice for about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, and we're going to just pop it in the rice cooker and give it a little stir.
Okay, let's get to it. So this is just water that's in here. That's it.
Yes, it's equal parts water and equal parts rice. So 2 cups of water and 2 cups of rice.
So should I stir this, Chef?
Yes.
Heard.
And we're just going to cut it on.
So how long do we let this go for?
I let it go for 15 minutes. At the 15-minute mark, I unplug it and let it heat up. And that's where the sticky process comes, because the rice sticks together. And as it's cooling and warming up, it'll all come together.
Okay. So we just put it in there and let the magic do it.
Yep, it'll work. It'll do what it do.
Heard. Okay, so now that we've set our sticky rice on, and this is perfect because we're going to let that go, and for 20 minutes, we're going to get everything else going. So this is a nice idea to go ahead and start your rice first while you prep or mise en place everything else. So come with us and we'll get everything else going while we let our rice do its thing. So, you guys, what we're going to be showing you today is how to make beautiful kimchi. Now, our kimchi is fermented, and that is a little bit different than pickling, right? So this has been already doing this thing, getting this magic, but we're going to show you guys how we got from beautiful Napa cabbage to our lovely fermented kimchi.
Napa cabbage is very much different from regular cabbage. Traditional Korean way, you put kosher salt in between the layers. It helps tenderize the leaves and it'll taste better in your fermented process during the fermenting process.
Perfect. So how about I start chopping up these and then you go ahead and get your marinade mix ready. And so we'll show them how we're going to pack these. Okay. And so we're just going to do a really rough chop on these. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's all going in and getting in where it fits in. So don't worry about that. You can use these stalks because remember, it's going to get fermented. So this will actually break down. So if you want to cut some more of this, feel free to. Just hold short on the actual root of it. You don't really want that. And I think this should be plenty enough to start. We want it to be compact and compressed because that's going to help to lend its magic to the fermenting process. So make sure that you have plenty enough beautiful Napa cabbage. And now we're going to take this beautiful daikon radish. I know you're probably used to seeing radishes, the little red ones that look like kind of grape cherry tomatoes. Those are good as well too, but we're going to be using the daikon, Daikon. A lot of Asian cuisines use their vegetables as, as art on their plate, which makes it even much more appetizing. So first, all we're going to do is, and I've already started cutting it, we're going to julienne. Don't come for me in the comments, okay? I can chop this like your mama can, but we're going to make this really easy and just use a mandolin so that way we have really nice, easy slices. Perfect. And so now you got these beautiful radish slices that almost look transparent. They look like sand dollars. And then I'm just going to kind of stack them up, a nice little dice on them. We're going to layer this in our jars, right? So we're going to go sauce, cabbage, daikon. And so by julienning this allows for everything to kind of get in and marinate. Perfect. Okay. So now that we have our daikon already mise en place and our Napa cabbage, Chef Anniyah is going to tell you how she made this delicious kimchi marinade. Chef?
So for the marinade, we have ourselves 2 tablespoons of grated ginger and about 5 minced garlic. And we have gochujang, which is a Korean hot pepper paste. Usually hot pepper paste is used. You can use hot peppers, but the paste makes a very well fermented and it gives it the juicy flavor. Kimchi is a probiotic and it also helps the stomach and gut health. So you can eat kimchi with everything. I eat it for breakfast, lunch.
And then you eat your kimchi. Have you ever done anything, Chef? Have you ever done anything crazy with kimchi, like as far as like kind of marrying the cultures? Yes. So like 2 things I love, family, right, are food and people. And at the intersection of food and people is culture, right? And this is what we're bringing you today, right, is a little bit of Korean culture. Everybody eat cabbage, but it's what you do with your cabbage, right, that helps to identify who you are, who your people are, where you came from, where your mom and them came from. And so when you cook, you bring all of that, or at least I do. I bring all of those things forward. So you don't just see me cooking here. You see a whole, lineage, right? So, and that is what brings in our culture. And like Chef was explaining, that gochujang, that's part of this Korean culture. We're doing this in mason jars, but like, talk about, like the traditional ways. Like I remember being in Korea, y'all, and you would see like the ladies, I'm talking about like the pot is bigger than her. She might be 90 pounds, soaking wet, a little bent over, and she's got this big old clay pot, right? And she opens it, and I mean, she's just pulling cabbage for days. It's so cool to still see the traditional ways of preparation still being used today, right? So holding on to those things, that's your identity. So yeah, let's share a little bit of that identity here today. So we've got our cabbage already ready, and then we've got our lovely daikon that I've just mixed. So Chef, what are we gonna do?
So we're going to pack everything into the mason jars really, really tight and definitely get a lot of sauce in there because you want your kimchi to be juicy. I love a good juicy kimchi. And yes, I blend it well with everything. It's funny because for my family, I make meatloaf, kimchi, and rice. And it's crazy that it's meatloaf.
Meatloaf, kimchi, and rice. Okay, so tell me about this. Isn't that such a blessing? You guys know how like when you try new things with your family and some people like it, some people don't. So it's always really nice when you try something and you introduce something, especially something from someone else's culture, right, to the table. You bring that to the table, and when it's warmly received, it's just such a good feeling. And that is what, we've done in our travels, right? As military, we've been able to go all around this world and expose ourselves to so many different cultures and cuisines. I would be remiss if I did not come back and share those things, right? And bring those things to you. And that's what we're doing today, is bringing that back to you. We already did the hard work, remember, so you don't have to. You guys just get to enjoy the food. We put our blood, sweat, and tears for this here food. Come on now. Okay, go ahead. So you guys notice how I am pressing everything down, right? We're doing a little bit. That's perfect, Chef. Yep. And then we're just going right into it. Remember, I told y'all, watch, all this cabbage about to fit in there.
It doesn't matter how long it's in the fridge. You can just go and grab kimchi. Kimchi lasts up to 3 to 5 years, which is the amazing part.
And this is also another reason why it was so good and so well received, right? So when thinking about back in the days where we didn't have proper refrigeration methods, heating methods, things like this, people use the ground as the refrigerator. So this is why you see the traditionally prepared, right? You'll see them put them in the clay pots and then bury those clay pots underground to keep them cool and to help with that fermenting process. And that was basically like storage. So look at our brand new kimchi, right? And then this is our fermented kind. So you can kind of see this looks more fresh and it kind of still looks crisp in it. But then we've got this jar that's been sitting up there. And this is the one we're going to open. So remember, you guys, you're going to let this marinate 1 to 5 days. I personally recommend go ahead and do them 4 or 5 days. You're going to think like, oh, that's a little weird. I got this cabbage just sitting out on the counter. Does it need to be refrigerated? Nope. Just make sure it's in cool temperature, preferably out of sunlight. And in 5 days, you're going to open that thing. The smell might knock you out, but do not be turned off. I promise it's going to be delicious. Drop it in the comments and let me know how you guys enjoyed your kimchi. Hey, family, we're back. So remember how I told you how I didn't know anybody outside of the American South that love fried chicken as much as we do in the South? Here we are. So, okay, you know how everyone now is doing like Nashville hot chicken. Shout out to Tennessee. I know that's where I'm from, right? But Memphis. And so everyone is doing this Nashville hot chicken, right? What is it about this hot chicken in Nashville? Everybody's putting it on. But let me tell you about this Korean fried chicken, right? So instead of where you may see Nashville hot chicken and pickles, we're doing a play on that. So we're going to do our Korean fried chicken, and these are going to be our pickles. So we've got some beautiful Persian cucumbers, and I'm just going to cut this on a bias and make a really quick, nice little red pepper paste sauce. Basically, gochujang is in like 90% of our things, right? So we're gonna make just a really quick little pickling thing for these cucumbers to enjoy with this delicious, oh so crunchy fried chicken. So let's get started. So I was in Korea in 2011, 2010, 2011, and it was a little bit of an uneasy time just because it was the changing of the regime. And with my career that I am in, you guys know I'm a chef now, but prior to me becoming an illustrious, world famous, world-class award-winning chef, because you got to toot your own horn sometimes, right? Prior to me becoming this, I served 11 years as an avionics maintainer. And specifically when I was in Korea, my responsibilities were the U-2s, which we call the Dragon Ladies, right? So it's a big old airplane with, the wingspan is crazy. And basically what it does is flies so many, like 70,000 feet above the Earth's atmosphere, and it takes pictures looking down to make sure that the adversary is not directing their missiles towards us, right? So with that being a responsibility, just think about like how crazy things were or how, tense or intense the moments can be. So we worked hard, but we also played hard. And one of those releases, right, your mental release, I always got to check, make sure you're checking on your mental. One of those mental releases for me was traveling and going all up and down, Hongdae, Pyeongtaek, Songjan, all of these different places, and eating all of this food. And also, like making friends with the people as well, but just, exploring somebody else's culture and really just taking the time to appreciate, how other people show up. Okay. And that's what we're doing today. We're appreciating how other people show up. And to this, we're going to add our gochujang. So it's a spice, but it's not spicy, if that makes sense. To me, you can make that thing spicy, but don't be intimidated when you see this and think like, oh, this going to burn my mouth off. It's not. To our cucumber mixture, we're going to add a little onion. And we're just going to toss this. Do it with your hands. I'm just going to dress this. This is going to be a beautiful complement to our fried chicken. Perfect. Stay tuned for the spread. Hey, family. So this is like my favorite part, what I've been waiting for, the Korean fried chicken. So you guys, I personally love chicken thighs because like it's juicy, they are tender, and they're hard to overcook. Whereas like your chicken breast can kind of dry out on you. So we don't even want to do that, right? We want to just have the best of the best. And so what I've done is taken a little bit of chicken, and I'm going to show you how I am going to process the chicken for our bite-sized Korean fried chicken. Let me show you what I've done. These are just boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and I'm going to process them in bite-sized pieces. But you do want them to be uniform in size. So if they all big, make them all big. If they all little, do all little. Don't do some little, some big. And the marinade for this is so easy, and you pretty much probably, I'm almost certain you already got in your pantry cabinet, right? So mostly everybody has soy sauce. There we go. We're just going to use, instead of salt, we're going to use soy sauce. That is going to be the salty content. So either or, don't do soy and salt, one or the other. And since we're doing Asian, we're choosing to use that soy so we can keep all those flavors really nicely. Okay, so I'm just going to sprinkle about 2 tablespoons into that. And then I've got some more ginger. I'm just going to grate that right into our chicken breast. If I were you, I would let this marinade at least an hour, preferably overnight. So that's about a tablespoon of ginger. Remember, guys, ginger is fun, it's flirty, it's fruity, but she also kind of spicy. So that is going to give you a little bit of your heat as well. But we're going to add just a splash more heat because, you know, why not? And we're going to do that in the form of white pepper. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, Chef, this is the time I've been waiting for, right? This Korean fried chicken, right? The Korean fried chicken faces, right? So I'm super excited to show you guys. So we're going to split this up, the proteins, right? Because I have a favorite, mine's fried chicken, and Chef Anniyah, her favorite
is bulgogi. I die for it. I love it so much.
Right, so she's going to show you guys the bulgogi, and then I'll be demoing the chicken. So let's go ahead and get right to it, and we're going to go ahead and do our double frying method. Or double breading method, actually. So we're going to do a dry and a wet. And what you see here on the stove is a nice little setup. And I have already got us some really nice sauces going for after the chicken come out fried. Here we go. I'm going to take our already marinated chicken, and I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle this cornstarch over it, right? So we're going to do one wet and one dry hand. And so all you're just doing is tossing your chicken in that cornstarch to get it coated. Nice. Just like that. There we go. That's a nice breading. And then you guys, we got our peanut oil nice and hot. How do we know it's hot? Because we're going to sprinkle some of this here corn flour on that thing. And if it go, that's how we know it's good. That's how we know. So we got that in there. Let's go ahead and drop one in there just to the thing, right? Y'all see that? Perfect. Okay. And we're going to continue in the same way. And you can throw more pieces in there. I'm just trying to show y'all how I'm doing it, right? You can throw a few in at a time, right? Make sure it's all coated and crisp. Dip it in your batter. Give it a nice little spell to get in there. Drip it, drip it, drip it, and then drop it. Drip and drop. If you wanted to make this completely gluten-free, then just use your cornstarch and don't use, or you can use gluten-free flour, but you can just use your cornstarch and that will be fine for you. You won't necessarily have the same texture as if you mix it with another flour, but you can do chickpea flour and cornstarch or the gluten-free flour. There we go. And we're going to bring this up just until it's GBD or golden brown and delicious. If you can't tell when it's GBD or golden brown and delicious, feel free to use a thermometer. You're going to want to pull your chicken at a temperature of 165. So while that batch is going, I'm going to go ahead and start another batch. I'll see you in a minute.
Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Chef Anniyah Robinson, and as you know, I was stationed in Korea for a year and a half. So a little bit about this dish, we're having beef bulgogi. Beef bulgogi is special to me because it was the first meal I ate as a company with my Army troops. So it's really special to my heart. I was a 92 Yankee, which is supply. And with supply, you have to work with your commander and all the troops to get everything together and the unit armorer. So with that, we had to go to a lot of dinners, be dressed up all the time, and try different foods, which that would make me fall in love with Korean dishes. And I want to show you guys a little bit of beef bulgogi. It's easy and you can do it right at home. To start out, we have some New York strips. They have the bone in them because Korean people cut them. And you will see later how we are going to cut them up later at family meal. I have my fresh ginger, garlic, a little bit of brown sugar, soy sauce, and sesame seed oil. And again, with this dish, you will see the spicy Korean paste. We only need a little bit because you don't want the bulgogi to be too spicy. You want more of a soy taste with it. So I'm going to prepare our bulgogi sauce, the marinade. We're going to start out with about a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. After the brown sugar, I like to add a little bit of garlic. And you want a bigger garlic. Make sure you get the biggest garlic that's in the piece because you want the garlic flavor to pop. We have this wonderful tool so we don't have to mince garlic. In school all the time, that's all we do. I feel like my freshman year, I just cut onions and minced garlic. We're going to come in with some soy sauce there's about 4 strips, so I'm going to use around 2 cups. Smells so good. Ginger reminds me of Thanksgiving. So we're going to grind it up into the bulgogi. Give it a little stir. We'll add a teaspoon of sesame seed oil. I'm going to add an extra one. I love it. Here we go again with the Korean hot paste. Now, I don't want bulgogi to be so spicy, so I'm not going to add a lot. I'll just add a little teaspoon to give it that little bit of flavor. Now, my favorite part is the Korean pear. I want to show the Korean pear how big it is. It's so juicy. And you can eat this for days. You can cut it in half you one day and the other half the next, and it's so delicious and it keeps its moisture. This makes me miss Korea so much. I was there in 2018 to 2019, so I recently just left. I left right before COVID happened, so it was a hard time for me trying to go back because my friends out there are still catching COVID, unfortunately. So we're going to grate some of this. And like I said, I love Korean culture because they utilize everything. Fruit, everything goes into a dish. And it's healthy. We use about 1/3 of the pear. So we're just going to mix all the flavors together. Now I want to show how the colors are popping. You have to keep stirring because the sugar will go down to the bottom, but it smells so amazing. You have that fruit in there, you have ginger, you have garlic, and it's just a wonderful mixture for me. I've marinated for about overnight, but we're going to use this right now and add it to the marinade from yesterday. All right. Look at how beautiful it is, and it smells so good. Now that we got everything marinated, we're going to put these on the grill. Now, at traditional Korean barbecues, you do have a grill in front of you in the center of the table. That part I loved about Korean barbecues because I feel like it brings your family together, and it brought our team together in the military because food it was another conversation that we can talk about, and it's something that we can do during lunch and all the time. I was with my company going to Korean barbecue. So I'm just going to put a little oil so it doesn't stick. For some reason, I fell in love with the grill. I grill meats a lot. A lot of people joke and say, rain, sleet, or snow, I'll be on the grill. But hey, it's something I've grown to love, and I do it almost every day. Don't tell nobody. So we're going to put the meat on the grill. It's not going to take long because it is thicker, but I don't want it to be well done, cooked all the way through. I like to have a little bit of rareness to it to just add more flavor. So we're going to put everything on the grill. The internal temperature should reach 155. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. So in Korea, we only are stationed there for a year. So during that year, my commander changed and we work with the Korean army and they're called Katusas. So my commander was Korean. So he introduced the company to more Korean places than I could imagine. I went everywhere in Korea from top to bottom. Every weekend, it was always an adventure. And it was easy for us to travel because we worked with the Korean army. So if we ever got lost or needed anything, we would just call up one of our friends and we'll get around. That's what part I really loved. I loved just going around, shopping, eating at Korean barbecues, and eating at different places. It's very much a culture shock for your first duty station. I was 18 years old in the middle of Korea trying to figure things out. Most people are in college. I was in the middle of Korea, but I loved it. Yes, there we go. It's getting its color at the bottom. I'll let it cook on the other side for some more time. There's just something about the grill, being outside, enjoying nature and cooking it. I felt it's something to fall in love with.
Hey family, so you have just seen us debut a beautifully delicious Korean meal and I cannot wait to share it. I have, as I told you, as I mentioned before, as I promised, and I like to keep my promises, I have a beautiful friend over who's come to have Korean for her first time. So come on everybody and let's welcome Chelsea Welsh to our table. Hey Chelsea!
Hey,
Yes. Oh, we are so well. Chef Anniyah and I have been laboring all like an hour for this beautiful lunch for you. So we're so grateful that you're here to join us with us.
this looks amazing. I can't wait to hear more about what it is.
So have you ever had Korean food before?
I've not. This
Okay.
is my first time.
Oh, well, how about that? What we prepared for you, Chelsea, what we prepared for you. Let's start here. Chef?
So right now we have the bulgogi, which was grilled and marinated for overnight. Bulgogi consists of a little ginger, the Korean pear, soy sauce, and a little Korean spice, all put together in a marinade. And we marinated last night, and I showed how to marinate bulgogi for the next time somebody wants it. And what Chef is doing right now is a traditional way Koreans eat bulgogi. They cut it up so it can fit into the lettuce leaves as they build it, or it just can be bite-sized. Koreans eat together for family meals, so cutting it up makes the steak and everything last longer.
That sounds beautiful.
Next we have sticky rice. It's traditional rice, but it's been soaked instead of rinsed off. We soak it so it'll come together more. The starch comes together and makes a sticky, consistent texture. It's just, you can use regular long grain rice or short grain rice, but in a rice cooker, and it makes it sticky.
Perfect. And then, so she talked about that. And then now also too, we've got 2 different kinds of fried chicken. Chelsea, you know, in the South, girl, we love our fried chicken, right?
Yes.
So I prepared for us fried chicken 2 ways. We've got a spicy red pepper sauce. You're gonna love this. I know how much you love the spicy. And then we've got a really lovely soy garlic sauce. And then in the middle, I made oimuchim, which is pickled cucumbers. So it's a really nice, simple vinaigrette with some fresh white onions, some sesame. Girl, it's gonna be so good and it's gonna complement your chicken so well. And then we did some kimchi. So you got some cabbage, some Napa cabbage and daikon kimchi. And then for some little palate cleansers, have you ever seen an Asian pear before?
No.
Okay, so Asian pears are super cute. And let's go ahead and try one. Everybody, let's take one to cleanse our palates to start with. So it's like, cheers. If an apple and a pear had a baby, this would be that. So it's nice, it's light, it's refreshing. It's really going to clean our palate and get us ready for all these delicious things. So I'm going to wash all of this down with soju, right? So we've got some soju. This flavor is, I think, lychee. No, that's actually the peach one. And this isn't a shot. We're going to cheers it.
Cheers.
And we're going to enjoy this.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming over. Okay, so we're going to dig in. So like Chef was saying, everything is bite-sized so that you can use your wraps and then wrap it in. So we use our scissors for that. You can tear them or you can cut them. But let's just go ahead and dig right in.
Thank you.
I've got you a cute little plate.
Oh, it's beautiful. You guys did a great job.
Thanks
for having me.
Yes. We were talking amongst ourselves and we were just saying like, that's one thing we miss from being in the military is like the camaraderie from being around and like having your people, you know, like having everybody's away from their house. And so we're away from their home, away from everybody that they love. So the military, your troops, you know, the wingmen, the people who you serve next to, they end up becoming your family. So with us being out of the military and being back in the civilian, it's a little harder and it's definitely something, right, Chef Anniyah?
It's different. Being out, you don't have that family sense. I mean, you have your family, but you don't have, like, friends turn to family really fast. And that connection stands out. And you really cherish it for the rest of your life. Each connection that you make with anybody.
Oh, well, I so appreciate your guys' service. I don't know what we would do without y'all. You're my heroes. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you for the support. Okay, so Chelsea, you put your chicken in there. Now, this is sumjang sauce. Okay, so you wrap your stuff like this, and don't be cute with it. This all messy. Look, get in there. Dip you some.
Ooh, you're right about.
Yeah, the lettuce. Yep. So you're gonna break it into kind of like bite-sized pieces.
Gotcha, girl. Gotcha.
You'll get it on your next one. Talk about the flavor, right? We've got that spice from that sumjang sauce. And if it's too spicy, use a little of the cucumber to cool it down. You guys, I wish that you were here enjoying this with us. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. And I just want to say a beautiful, beautiful shout out and a beautiful thank you to Chef Anniyah for coming down and guesting us and blessing us with her presence and giving us just a little bit something to be, you know, that much more proud about. Chef Anniyah, thank you. I'll have you anytime. You can come cook with me anytime. Bless your heart.
I'm really looking forward to it. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you did. And always, of course, Chelsea, thank you, dear, for being a lovely sport and being willing to try new things. You know, this is how we start to bridge the gap and things like this, right? Maybe you've never had Korean food. Maybe you've never had a Korean friend. Maybe you've never had, right? So when we try these foods and we come together, it allows us to kind of be able to tap into somebody else's culture just by their cuisine, right? And then maybe you just realize that, hey, I kind of like this, or I kind of like that, right? And we all come together and realize that we're more alike than we are different. So thank you for this opportunity to share culture and to share love and to share light with you on this day. I can't wait to see y'all again. Let me know what we're gonna be making next in your culture kitchen. See y'all, love y'all.